Okay, so today we're having a conversation that I feel like nobody's having in the industry, and it is costing you actually a lot of money. And I think a part of the reason nobody is talking about it is because this problem is not a sexy problem. It is not adding a new funnel, and I love that. It is not adding a new launch strategy. It is not adding a new offer. It is something that is already happening in your business right now, and you have probably normalized it without even realizing it. So we're going to look at that today. Today, we are talking about client retention. And by the end of this episode, you are going to see your business very differently. I promise you that. I have just made 20K cash in client retention in just 4 days, and I did not have to do any outreach or anything except what I was already doing with my client and what I'm going to share with you in how I do deliver great experiences, but also how I made it such a no-brainer for my clients to continue working with me. Hi, by the way, I am Gwen Ferreira. If you are new here, I help coaches and online business owners build back-end sales system that make sales whether they are showing up or not. And today we are talking about the one move that can add 6 or 7 figures to your business, depending on where you're at right now, without adding a new offer, without even adding a new funnel, and without adding a new launch strategy, just by keeping the clients you already have. So first of all, I want you to think about the clients who have come through your world in the last 12 months. All the clients who already got results, like people who were just so freaking happy to work with you, who told you how much they loved working with you. Where are they now? And just think about it. Okay. And it is not like to point a finger in something that you are not doing or something doing wrong. What we are doing is trying to do a diagnosis of where you're at in your business and to move forward from this. So where are they now? Do you still have some? What is the percentage? Do you have a quarter of them, all of them? Are they still inside your world in some ways? Are they buying again? Are they referring their friends? Or did they finish your program, your mastermind, your one-to-one space, said thank you, bye, and disappeared? Because here is the thing I want you to understand today is that if most of them disappeared, that is not necessarily a you problem. It doesn't mean that your offer is not good. It does not mean that your delivery is not good. It might, okay, but it might not. Like here, we are trying to really look on the retention and not so much the cause of like if it is because of you, because this is absolutely not helpful. And you have some people who are having amazing results, and this is what we want to focus on right now, on how to keep the people who are so happy in. Here, what we want to see is that it's not because also your clients are not committed to do the work, or that they're going to suddenly not have any support, or that they did not have result. It's simply because you have been focusing way more on signing new clients than making sure the ones you already have, the ones who are already buying from you, continue to do so and stay in your world. And I know you want something, you want longer relationship. You don't want to be the booty call of your industry, right? And here is the problem with focusing on client acquisition only, is that clients, okay, a bit like booty calls, right? They come into your world, they get what they need, they get results, and then they leave. And then you go and find the next one, and then the next one. And every single quarter, you are essentially rebuilding your revenue from scratch because the people you worked so hard to attract and convert and deliver, they are gone. And you are back at the beginning. And the thing is, this is how most online businesses are built, because everything we are taught in this industry is about acquisition. How to get new leads, how to run a launch, how to make a sale. And there is so much education around getting clients in, and there was nothing around what happens after they are in. I actually read something that really stayed with me, which is that most business spend around 80%, it's absolutely insane, 80% of the energy and resources acquiring new clients, and less than 20% keeping the ones they already have. And yet it costs 5 times more to acquire a new client than to retain an existing one. 5 times more. 5 times more is insane. So When you are wondering why your income feels so good, like you're making so good money, like it's good, but it really never accumulates. Like it's not like those people stay and then a little bit more, and then because they stay for so many years, like you don't have to be chasing new clients all the time. Why are you working so hard that you're working the as hard as month 1 and you are at month 12? And also wondering like why hitting a new income level is going to not feel easy, because you can see that you will just need to attract more people. And this is how you're going to scale, attract more people. You are filling a bucket with a hole, a lot of holes in the bottom. And no amount of new leads is going to fix a retention problem. Okay. So now that we understand that and that we are very clear about the retention problem, let me explain how we fix it, because I don't just want to leave you with the problem. I actually want us to go into this. So what I call the retention loop is what we're going to focus on now. And this is the exact sequence of things you build inside your client experience that together make living feel like the wrong decision. That's why they're going to stay, because they feel like the best decision for them is to stay. And I want to walk you through each part of it, because when you hear this, you are going to start seeing exactly where the gaps are in your own client delivery. And so the first part is your onboarding. Okay. This is the most underestimated moment in the entire client journey. And I say this because I see this all the time. The moment right after someone pays is when she's at the peak of excitement, but also peak of doubt. Okay. And she just invested a lot of money. She is very excited. And also she is wondering if she made the right call. And most people here at this point send a welcome email and a link to the portal, and that's it. And yeah, that's fine, okay? But the worst here is when it's a new offer. Like someone is adding you to a new offer, the portal looks horrible, and you wonder why you just spent 5 figures in this. And why I am so specific telling you this is because this happened to me 3 months ago. And I was very disappointed. And that's because of the onboarding. The platform looked like shit. And yeah, you know. So the first impression of being inside your world is just then underwhelming. And it's not a space I'm going to stay. Okay. And I signed up a year into this. And so what I have seen with my clients is that when we fix the onboarding, just the onboarding already, everything is going to change, because the person, when she's going to show up, is going to be so different. Because a good onboarding does not just welcome someone in, okay? It is going to confirm that she made the good decision. It makes her feel seen immediately, and not as a number in your program, but really as a specific person with a specific business or a specific life, and you understand her. It also creates an early win depending on what she has access to. So maybe she can build momentum, already have results in the first 48 hours. And when that is done well, she's not just going to be happy that she joined, she's already going to talk about it. Now, this is the first part of retention loop. Okay, the second part of our retention loop is culture. And this is also something invisible, something that we can't see. Okay, we can't see the culture, but this is what makes people stay inside a container way long past the point where she had content, she had a win, and maybe she had a strategy. Culture is really this feeling of, this is my room. It's also creating your standards and showing what are your standards. And it's also the energy of the people inside the space. So what kind of wins get celebrated? This creates a certain culture, or how people show up for each other, or what is actually normalized in the space. When a client is inside a room with a strong culture, she is not going to want to leave, because she knows that she cannot have that exact same feeling anywhere else. And you can find strategies everywhere else. You can find information everywhere, but a room that actually feels like hers, that where she feels seen, recognized, challenged, and she knows it, where she has connections, and we're going to go into this. Yes, this is very important. And that's why we go into our third now element of the retention loop is community, which is, yes, related to our culture, but it's different, because community is the actual relationships your clients build with each other inside your world. And this is something most people don't actively invest in because they think it just happens naturally. People will connect naturally. And sometimes it does, but often it does not. And when you create the conditions for it intentionally, your clients, they stop being just invested in the program and in you, and they become invested in the people who are in the program. I'm actually in another mastermind, another 12-month mastermind. That's the only two, by the way. 12-month mastermind, I mean. And like this one, I stay for the culture. I stay for the community. Okay. I stay for the women who are in. So if the women who are in change, I may not stay. And this is exactly what happened in another mastermind I was before, and I stayed there for 12 months. I stayed for 6 months, and after the 6 months, I stayed for the community. And because we don't stay a long time just for strategies, you know. And after that, the people inside the mastermind did change. We had less connection, and then I did not stay because I stayed for community. And this, I'm trying to give you a lot of examples so you actually see that this happens in a lot of different scenarios. And it is not just me, this happens to all of my clients who have worked through retention because now they have their clients staying and they are out of the loop of chasing clients and acquisition all the time. So this is a completely different thing to really focus on this, right? So now moving on into this point number 4. Okay, we have 5 points. Point number 4 is what I call upsells inside delivery. And honestly, there is a version of this that is a little bit gross and a version that is super nice and done to serve your clients. So let's look at the one with super nice. I'm going to still talk about the gross one. So first, maybe the version that feels gross. That's when you are constantly pitching people who are already inside your world and making them feel like what they paid for is not enough. They should be in this other thing because this is actually where people are happening, you know. This is just a little thing. And nobody wants to be in that room. Nobody wants to be in the not enough room. So the version that actually serves your clients is noticing where their natural next level is and making this available. Because the client who is inside your container, getting results, trusting you, that is your most motivated buyer. Okay. And a lot of people spend so much time and money in trying to have new people when in fact, the people you already have, this is your highest opportunity, okay, is those people. So if you want to make sales today, look at the people who already bought from you. Don't look at trying to do an ads and attract people who never bought from you, if you see what I mean. So people in your world already, okay? And if you have an offer ecosystem where the natural next step always exists, it's not selling, it's continuing with them, it's leadership, it's being of service, it's seeing them for where they're at, which I love. And honestly, like a lot of people are, to me, like the women working with me, they are looking for someone who knows their business. And it takes me a few months to know everything about you, your pattern, your business, your offers, all of the things. And this is something that once you have that and you have someone who knows your business, knows your vision, is calling you forward, is challenging you, but also is here supporting you with the resources to build the next iteration of your brand, your business, and expansion, this is different. Now, the 5th part, so the last point here, is the renewal that don't need a conversation. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that because that's actually one of my favorite part of the word framework, because in a business with a strong retention architecture, and I really want to put this word architecture because it is something you architect, okay? It's not something like it's just there, okay? So if you did architect this, okay, you don't need to do a pitch. The client never reaches the point actually where leaving is going to feel like that's the obvious choice. Like that's my move. I just leave. No, she kept getting results. She felt the culture. She built relationships with the women who are inside with the community aspect. So when the renewal comes, and it's not something that you do last minute, by the way, it's just a continuation. Of course, like she's going to stay. It's not a decision that she has to make, like she's just enrolling. That's why also like it is a big decision to come into a new space. It is not a big decision to stay if you have done your work with the 5 elements of the client retention loop. And so the difference here between a business where you are constantly selling to your existing clients to keep them and a business where they just stay because they do not want to leave is the difference between one that will make 6 or 7 figures just in client resigning and one that is on the hamster wheel, always trying to get new clients in and doing 80% of the work on client acquisition. Some of my clients, they stay for years with me because of this. I actually just signed a one-to-one client, and after a few days, she asked me if people stay with me forever because the experience is so good. And I said, yes, of course they do. And now we are just halfway in our contract, and she has already decided to extend her contract and to double her current contract and to extend by that. Everything I just described, the onboarding, the culture, the community, the internal offers, the renewal that just happened, like none of this is taught in a 5-week program. And of course, it cannot be because it takes longer than 5 weeks to build, and it takes even longer to actually experience it, to refine it, and to see how it evolves. Building a backend that makes you millions takes 6 months to a year. I'm not going to lie to you. And this is specifically why Elite Mastermind is actually a 12-month space. And phase 2 of Elite Mastermind is on client retention and experience. Phase 1 of Elite is about removing you as the bottleneck. So getting your funnel live, your backend running, your offers connected, all of this so that you have clients coming in. Okay. Of course, we focus on getting clients in, but it's specifically also focused on having all of those clients stay. And once you have first the right system for people to come in, and all those people are your dream clients and they come by themselves, you have more time to focus, not just 20% on them staying, okay, 20% of your time, but you can focus like half of your time on this or more. Phase 2, as I was mentioning, is where in doing Elite, where we get really into the nitty gritty and it gets really interesting because everything that happens after the sale is what we're focusing on, because we focus on getting the sale with our ecosystem of offer, with our cash flow system, with our funnels. And then we focus on the client experience, the onboarding, the retention loop, the internal ascension, so that clients, they don't leave after 3 months. So you are not the booty call of your industry. Because if your front end is working, okay, and you have consistent new clients coming in, but retention is bad, you are running a very busy, very profitable looking, actually, business that is working extremely hard to stand still. And that's it. You are standing still. You are at the same income plateau, okay? And you're just doing more. This is because you are focusing on client acquisition. I have actually a woman right now in my DMs, and we're just talking about this, okay? And what she wants is to get out of this because she's just focusing on client acquisition and she has no system even to really convert people without her really chasing the sales and doing a lot of outreach. So we're going to build the entire thing for her, where we're going to build, reviewing her ecosystem, her messaging, to make sure that she only attracts dreamy clients with her new funnel. And after the funnel, what is happening? So Elite is where we fix that. It's a high proximity mastermind merged with private consulting with me. So you get my eyes on your actual business, your copy, your client experience, everything that we build together. I only have 3 spots available right now, the current investment. So if this episode resonated, if you heard yourself in the boutique call business model, and if you have been delivering result and you know that you are exhausting yourself and you are really having those 80% of effort on acquisition, your next move is exactly what we talked about together today and exactly the work that we do inside Elite. So DM me the word Elite on Instagram and we can have a chat to see if it is a good fit. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode and I talk to you very soon. Bye everyone.